Hey everybody, it's Ed. All right, I am holding in front of you a picture that shows Elvis Presley with my parents and Jim Morris and Pat Schmara, who became Pat Morris at the Las Vegas Hilton. And this was back in August of 1973, late August 1973, where the founding members of the King's Court fan club presented Elvis with a plaque of appreciation from the fan club and the members. And then on August 27th of 1974, after the picture was taken, a year after the picture was taken, my parents had it placed on this beautiful plaque. You can see it has a very unique, distinct shape to it. And in 1974, when they went to go and see Elvis, they brought this with them in the hopes of being able to meet Elvis and have him sign this picture. Well, unfortunately, they were not able to meet Elvis, but Mom was able to bring this picture in with her during one of the concerts on August 27th of 1974 at the midnight show. She sat right up front, and at one point during the show, she held the picture up in front of Elvis, and Elvis did actually autograph the picture. But now the problem is the pen that Elvis used to autograph this picture, it's very difficult to see the autograph. So what I'm doing right now is I'm shining a light on the picture, which helps to bring up, and so you can see a little bit better, the autograph. See, the way that the ink pretty much, I think here, you can see it above Pat's head and then trailing over above Elvis's head. All right, but for those of you who doubt that Elvis actually did sign this, we do have proof. We do have proof. And this is the proof that I can show you. Okay, now, when they went to Vegas, my mom held the picture up in front of him. As I showed you, you can see that that frame was very unique. And then we have a picture of Elvis himself with this frame directly in front of him. Okay, and next to that frame, you see a pen. This is the pen that Elvis used to sign that picture. Now, those of you who are familiar with these types of pens, well, maybe you may or may not know that the ink doesn't last very long. Now, this is the scarf that Elvis was wearing when my mother got the picture signed. And then Elvis was kind enough to give her this scarf. So here we have them all framed. The scarf, the picture, the pen. And you cannot see it right now the way that the scarf is folded. However, there are pen marks on this scarf as when Elvis was leaning over signing it. I guess the scarf got in the way of the pen, so that left some marks on there. Now, so where do we go from here? Well, when we look at the King's Court Fan Club newsletter for EP fans only, in this particular issue, which was Volume 2, it was a double issue. It was Volume 2, number 4 and 5 combined together. And this was for September and November of 1974. So, with that being said, what I want to do is I want to read some excerpts from you in here to show you what some of the experiences were of my parents and fan club members from the August 74 engagement at the Las Vegas Hilton. All right, you know what? First, before I get into anything, let's go into the story about my mom getting her scarf and having the picture signed. So, there's a little blurb right here. And it says, last year while in Vegas, we had the colossal thrill of meeting with Elvis and having a picture taken with him. As you will recall, the picture was on our newsletter, Volume 1, Number 3. Well, we had the photo mounted and plaqued. This year, we took it with us to our return trip, hoping to have it signed. At the midnight show of 8/27, Angela held it up to show Elvis, and he not only signed it, but he seemed impressed. He showed it to the band in the audience between songs at the midnight show 8:20. Oh, he showed it to the band in the audience, period. Between songs at the midnight show, August 25th, Richie requested Elvis to sing It's Now or Never, and Elvis replied, "You got it." And we might add, it was done superbly. Unfortunately, we did not have the opportunity to meet Elvis this time. We had a plaque to present him from the club. But due to his illness, Colonel Parker advised us that Elvis was having no personal presentations that week. We understood this and decided to hand the plaque to Elvis on stage. He was pleased by it and acknowledged us all. In fact, Elvis recognized us at every show we attended and responded by kissing the girls, and the guys got handshakes. All in all, Las Vegas 1974 was a blockbuster. Don't know why they left out getting scarves also, but usually they would mention that. However, it was not mentioned. But this issue in particular is a really, really interesting issue, and I was reading through it. And actually here they talk about meeting the Colonel. So let's talk about that. All right, so it says, August 29th, 1974, your Vice President Richie Hess and myself, this was written by Jim Morris, had the extreme pleasure of presenting Colonel Parker a plaque on behalf of the King's Court and Elvis fans everywhere. The plaque read, to Colonel Parker on behalf of official staff and members of the King's Court, EPFC, we thank you for bringing Elvis to the fans. All in all, we talked for over 45 minutes, and needless to say, it was an experience. The Colonel is quite a guy, and only a lengthy conversation such as this can show his sincere concern for Elvis fans. We discussed Elvis concerts, tickets, lines, Vegas, promotion, and even some nostalgia Elvis's appearance on the Dorsey Brothers show. At one point during our conversation, Bill Cosby walked in, and the Colonel introduced us to him. Bill, I'd like you to meet these two gentlemen from Elvis's fan club in New York. The Colonel then said to us, quote, be sure to put in your newsletter that Bill flew in a couple of hours' notice to sub for Elvis, unquote. We then told Bill that Elvis mentioned that fact on stage at the previous night's show. At this point, Artie Newman of the Hilton Hotel executive staff reminded us to also include in our newsletter that Elvis had raised $150,000 for Vegas charities through the sale of souvenirs at the front lobby, this time for orally handicapped children of Nevada. The Colonel mentioned that Elvis and himself like to pick some of the smaller charities to help because in most cases they don't receive the media coverage as others do. The Colonel and Mr. Newman also mentioned that there were no other entertainer that could sell souvenirs of this nature, buttons, posters, etc., in such large quantities. The Colonel told us, quote, when my boy comes to town, we like to turn Vegas into a festival atmosphere, unquote. In reference to Elvis's concert appearances, we told the Colonel about some of the bad newspaper coverage after the concerts in our area. He explained that many times he has asked for free tickets for press coverage, and they are simply told to buy their tickets at the box office. The King's Court feels that in writing reviews, these columnists probably base the show upon their seats. You know, if you don't buy your tickets within the first couple of hours, what kind of seats you get? Along the same line. The Colonel said that Elvis's father needed 8 tickets for Dayton, Ohio, and was sold for $80, 8 seats, 25 rows back. Everyone pays for their tickets. He also explained that on just the last concert tour, one college tried to hold back 2,000 seats for students and faculty. And when this was relayed to the Colonel, he threatened to cancel. Needless to say, within an hour, the college was on the phone apologizing, and the tickets were placed back in the box office. Immediately, the topic of conversation went on to the subject of scalping. Colonel urges fans not to buy from scalpers. Quote, even if we have to play to an empty house and the scalpers were stuck with all the tickets, each one was paid for at the box office. The success is in the sellout. All right, King's Court, note. Next time you're in a concert and read a review that there were scattered empty seats, just think of some scalper standing outside desperately trying to get his money back. Unfortunately, the conversation had to end due to the beginning of the midnight show. Colonel then thanked us for the plaque and assured us that it would go into his personal gallery at home. We'd like to thank the Colonel for his valuable time, Jim and Richie. So there you have that. All right, now another interesting little article, and I think we'll end it on that one, is they also wanted to present a new plaque to Elvis, which I kind of read to you before a little bit, where it was mentioned at the beginning when I mentioned about her having the picture signed as well. All right. It says, unfortunately, we didn't have the opportunity to meet Elvis at this time, but we had a plaque, see photo, to present from him from the club, but due to his illness, Colonel Parker advised us Elvis was having no personal presentations that week. All right, so that I did read. So this plaque said, the King's Court Elvis Presley Fan Club proudly salutes the man whose daddy told him ain't ever met a guitar player worth a damn. So now we do have audio of that concert where they did give this to him, and he interacts with the members of the King's Court Fan Club. So that is also out there as well. All right, but just some things on this date, August 27th, way back in 1974, all right, 48 years ago, where my parents got their picture signed. Mom got another scarf. We got the pen. We got a picture of him with the picture in front of him as he's about to sign it, and just a lot of good stuff. And just wish that we could still do this stuff and that he was still around. But, oh well. We have to live in our past. We have to live in our memories. Oh well. All right, let me know what you think of this stuff. If you would like, you can leave me a comment. If not, that's okay as well. All right, but I do appreciate you watching. I hope you're all doing well. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Take care, everybody.